chilled too, so it stays compatible with the cryogenic plumbing. During flight, that pressurization helps force propellant into the engines as the tanks empty. And then at T-minus 60 seconds, Falcon 9 will enter startup. At that point, the rocket's onboard flight computers will take over. From there on out, the countdown becomes fully autonomous.
And we are standing by to hear that call out for Stage 2 LOX load to be complete.
Stage 2 LOX load is complete.
That will complete the prop load for the upper. And right on time, that liquid oxygen for the second stage is now fully loaded, completing prop load for the upper stage. We may also hear a call that Dragon's flight computer is in auto idle. You may notice the white clouds venting from around the rocket. That isn't smoke, that's actually condensation and is expected. As the liquid oxygen warms slightly inside the tanks, some of it boils off, and that gas is now being vented to help manage the pressure. When the vented oxygen hits the warm and humid outside air, it instantly condenses into clouds, which you are getting visuals of on your screen now.
As of now, the payload remains healthy and the rocket is tracking no issues. Weather is green for...
Falcon 9 is in startup.
Good call out there. Weather is green for a scheduled liftoff at 6:11 p.m. Eastern Time, and we are heading into the final moments before launch.
Launch director, go for launch.
At this point, the autonomous flight computers have taken over the launch countdown, and stages 1 and 2 are pressurizing for launch. Everything looking good ahead of liftoff.
T-minus 15 seconds. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines full power and liftoff. Go Falcon, go Cygnus.
And liftoff. Falcon 9 and Cygnus take flight.
M1D chamber pressure nominal.
The SS Willie McCool is en route to the International Space Station. Vehicle pitching downrange as all 9 Merlin engines have lit.
We are currently throttling down to prepare for Max Q, which is the point in the mission profile where the vehicle experiences the greatest amount of aerodynamic pressure that it'll see
telemetry nominal
on ascent. Max Q is reached when the air density of the atmosphere decreases faster than the increasing speed of the rocket. So look out for that call out, which we're expecting to hear shortly.
Falcon 9 is supersonic. Max Q.
And there's that call out for Max Q. Now, coming up next are several events that are going to happen in rapid succession. First is main engine cutoff, stage separation, stage 1 flip, second engine start, boost back burn start, and then fairing separation. Main engine cutoff, or MECO, is where all 9 M1D engines
stage 2 engine chill
on the Falcon 9 first stage are shut down. This is followed by separation of the first and second stages. Stage 1 flip is when the booster uses its nitrogen gas thrusters to flip the booster around. And a few seconds later, the Merlin vacuum engine on the second stage will ignite to boost Cygnus to low Earth orbit, and that is also called out as Second Engine Start 1, or SES-1. After that, Falcon 9's first stage will ignite again to orient itself to head back to land. And shortly thereafter, the 2 fairing halves will separate and expose the spacecraft to the vacuum of space. And we should be hearing the first of those call-outs in about 10 seconds from now.
Stage separation confirmed.
MVAC startup.
Stage 1 boost back startup.
Fairing separation confirmed.
And there we heard the callouts for all of those events, which again were MECO, stage separation, stage 1 flip, SES-1, boost back burn start, and fairing separation. And coming up shortly, we should hear a callout for completion of the boost back burn on the Falcon 9 first stage. This burn, which will last in total about 50 seconds, is the first of 3 burns that the booster needs to go through in order to make its way back to landing zone 2 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. So there was the successful boost back burn on the Falcon 9 first stage. If you're just joining us, you're watching live coverage of Northrop Grumman's Commercial Resupply Services 23 mission to the space station. We had an on-time liftoff at 6:11 p.m. Eastern Time from Space Launch Complex 40 at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station. Now, in order to make its way back to land today, the Falcon 9 first stage has 2 more burns to execute. Next up is the entry burn, where 3 of the Merlin engines will reignite. This helps to slow the stage down as it re-enters the upper part of Earth's atmosphere. And following the entry burn, the booster will go through its landing burn, and this is a single engine burn that brings down the vehicle's speed rapidly in order to land back on Earth. And we should be hearing the call out for that entry burn in about 2 minutes from now. During the entry burn, Falcon 9 is decelerating by firing its Merlin engines, but the vehicle is still moving really fast. And this causes it to fly through Merlin's exhaust gases, which are also known as the rocket's plume, which deposits a layer of soot on the vehicle surface. And that's why our flight-proven vehicles look the way that they do. This soot comes from the carbon-based fuel that Falcon 9 uses, and with each flight, the soot builds up a little bit more on the outside of the vehicle. We are still more than a minute away from the beginning of the entry burn. As you can see from the telemetry on the bottom of your screen, the second stage is still picking up speed and is carrying Cygnus to orbit. On the right side of the screen, you can see that engine burn, and on the left side, you can see the first stage decelerating and making its way back to Earth. Now, you might have noticed on the left-hand side of your screen that Falcon 9 is equipped with those 4 hypersonic grid fins, which are positioned near the top of the first stage. Stage 1 is using nothing but those grid fins for steering as it returns to Earth. They orient the rocket during re-entry and guide it during its descent back down to Earth. Reusability is the key to lowering the cost of spaceflight, enabling more investments in critical space infrastructure. The Falcon 9 first stage that is supporting today's mission is performing this entry burn for its 4th time. And the payload fairings are also flight proven, with one half flying for its 6th time and the other half flying for its 3rd time. And we are moments away from the beginning of that entry burn. You should see the graphics light up as the engines do on the bottom of your screen.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
And there's the call out for the entry burn startup on the Falcon 9 first stage. This burn is set to last about 20 seconds and again is slowing down the vehicle in preparation for its final burn and landing. These are incredible clear views that we have today. And we also just heard the call out for the entry burn shutdown, which is the completion of the Falcon 9 first stage entry burn. Coming up next will be the first stage landing burn, which is going to start a little over a minute from now. So soon we'll have that start of the landing burn of the first stage. This is the final burn of the Falcon 9 booster used to reduce the remaining speed of the vehicle for a gentle and precise landing. Check out those incredible views as it comes down.
Stage 1 FTS has saved.
Stage 1 transonic. Stage 1 landing burn.
You just heard the call out for the landing burn start on the Falcon 9 first stage. Again, this is the final burn that this booster will see before landing.
Stage 1 landing leg deploy. Stage 1 landing confirmed.
And that was another successful landing of our Falcon 9 rocket.
Stage 2 has entered terminal guidance.
This is the fourth launch and landing for this first stage.
Stage 2, FTS has saved.
Coming up at around the 8.5-minute mark, we should hear a call out for second engine cutoff 1 or SECO 1, which is when the MVAC engine on the second stage shuts down. That'll conclude the roughly 6-minute burn by this engine needed to get Cygnus into the proper orbit for eventually intercepting the International Space Station.
MVAC shutdown.
And there's that call out for the second stage. We are now waiting for confirmation of good orbit.
Nominal orbit insertion.
And there was a great call out there. So at T plus 8 minutes and 57 seconds into the mission, and the second stage has one last major task, and that's commanding separation of the Cygnus spacecraft in just a few minutes from now. It's Northrop's tradition to name each Cygnus spacecraft after an individual who has made significant contributions to human spaceflight. The NG-23 Cygnus spacecraft is named in honor of astronaut William or Willie McCool. McCool was an astronaut and naval aviator who piloted the 2003 Columbia spacecraft and lost his life during the mission. His naval career included over 2,800 flight hours in 24 aircraft and more than 400 career arrestments. After being selected by NASA to become an astronaut in April of 1996, he reported to the Johnson Space Center in August of 1996. He completed 2 years of training and evaluation and was qualified for flight assessment as a pilot. Willie McCool's spaceflight career reached its pinnacle with his role as pilot of STS-107 aboard the Space Shuttle Columbia. The mission, which launched on January 16th of 2003, was dedicated to scientific research, with the crew conducting approximately 80 experiments over a 16-day period. Tragically, the mission ended abruptly on February 1st, 2003, when Columbia disintegrated during re-entry, just 16 minutes before the scheduled landing, resulting in the loss of McCool and his fellow crew members. In all, he logged 15 days, 22 hours, and 20 minutes in space. In recognition of his exemplary service and sacrifice, McCool was posthumously awarded the Congressional Space Medal of Honor, the NASA Spaceflight Medal, the NASA Distinguished Service Medal, and the Defense Distinguished Service Medal. Willie McCool's legacy endures through his contributions to aviation and space exploration. NG-23 is the first mission using Northrop Grumman Cygnus XL configuration of its Cygnus line of cargo delivery vehicles. The cargo capacity of Cygnus XL is 5,000 kilograms, which is 33% greater than the previous version. The expanded capacity of Cygnus XL means more room for critical supplies and experiments in a single mission, improving the efficiency by reducing the number of launches required for a given cargo mass. For those of you just tuning in, you are watching live coverage of Northrop Grumman's Commercial Resupply Services 23 mission to the orbiting laboratory. Following separation, Cygnus will have a nearly 40-hour transit to the space station, where the station's Canadarm2 will grapple Cygnus and the spacecraft will attach to the Unity module's Earth-facing port for cargo unloading. Cygnus will be joining the CRS-33 SpaceX Dragon spacecraft, which docked with the space station on August 25th, as well as the Crew 11 Dragon, which arrived on August 2nd. Both Northrop Grumman and SpaceX have a long history of supporting the International Space Station with cargo missions like today's. SpaceX's first commercial resupply services, or CRS mission, CRS-1, launched in 2012 and made history by restoring America's capability to deliver and return cargo to the station. The Cygnus spacecraft has been visiting the ISS since 2013, and the first Cygnus CRS mission, Orb-1, launched in 2014. Cygnus has delivered more than 71,000 kilograms of equipment, science experiments, and supplies to sustain the ISS astronauts under NASA's commercial resupply services contracts. The CRS partnership has helped build a strong American commercial space industry that will soon take us to destinations beyond low Earth orbit. In fact, these missions are providing critical learnings that will help us develop a human presence on the Moon and Mars, which will require a steady supply of cargo missions in order to grow and to thrive. Just as a quick correction, it's actually a 60-hour transit to the station. We're currently at T plus 13 minutes and 37 seconds, and we're expecting to hear the call out for payload deploy at around the T plus 14 minute and 40 second mark. As a reminder, this is SpaceX's 6th mission headed to the International Space Station so far this year, following NASA's CRS-33 and CRS-32 resupply missions, NASA's Crew 10 and Crew 11 missions, and Axiom Mission 4 on behalf of Axiom Space. Following separation, Cygnus will have that 60-hour transit to the space station, where the station's Canadarm2 will grapple Cygnus, and the spacecraft will attach to the Unity module's Earth-facing port for cargo unloading by the Expedition 73 crew. We should be hearing that call out shortly for payload deployment of the Cygnus spacecraft.
Cygnus separation confirmed.
And there you have it, a successful spacecraft separation. The Cygnus spacecraft is now on its way to the International Space Station, and as mentioned, is expected to arrive about 60 hours from now. With successful separation, that's going to do it for me here in Hawthorne. Be sure to check out spacex.com/launches for a schedule of our upcoming missions. And when you're there, check out our new departure board featuring our upcoming launches with details such as the mission name, launch and landing site, and liftoff time. In the meantime, Sandra, tell us what's next for Cygnus.
Thanks, Tyler, and welcome back into the International Space Station Flight Control Room here at the Johnson Space Center in Houston. Next up will be the deployment of Cygnus's solar arrays, scheduled to begin at a mission elapsed time of 2 hours and 29 minutes and should take about 45 minutes to be completed. Once those arrays are deployed, we will provide an update on the International Space Station blog with the latest news. But joining me now is G. Patel, the manager of the Mission Integration and Operations Office, and he's here today to discuss the launch of Cygnus a little bit more. So, G, how significant was today's launch of a larger Cygnus spacecraft, and how valuable is this for continued space station operations?
Hey, thank you, Sandra. You know, all of our missions are critical, but this particular mission is even more so critical. You know, NG-22 was scheduled to be launched in June, and we had an issue with that spacecraft during a shipping incident, and so we weren't able to get that mission launched. And so the NG team has done a phenomenal job accelerating this mission 4 months to be able to get this launch off today. This is a different variant, as you guys have highlighted. It's the Cygnus XL, is what they call that. It has 33% more capacity to launch cargo, and it's extremely important. There's a lot of critical consumables, supplies, food, water, air that we need for station to maintain habitability of crew. And then also we've got critical science that we also have on this mission. And so, you know, we consider this really important to be able to enhance and expand our capability to launch more cargo. But in addition to that, you know, there's other functions that the Cygnus is going to serve. You know, it's certified for 200 days to be up Earth to ISS. And, you know, with that, you can do some other operations, like what we call extend the lab. So, you know, there's powered locker capability that's on the spacecraft, and so we are able to power science within the spacecraft while it is with ISS. In addition to that, we obviously like to dispose or remove as much as we're bringing to station to maintain stowage and keep things habitable, and so the 200 days helps us as the crew is accumulating trash for us to be able to stow that. And then also the spacecraft has a payload on it post ISS that it's going to perform a demonstration. It's called Palomino, which will demonstrate some electric propulsion technologies. And so all of this, these capabilities are really important to the overall mission.
Thank you. Very insightful information. Now, if you would, at this hour, the crew is, of course, asleep on board the International Space Station, but can you outline for us the upcoming activities for the crew on board as they prepare for Cygnus's arrival early Wednesday?
Yes, certainly. So as you highlighted, Zena Cardman and Johnny Kim are going to be our robotic operators, and so in prep for arrival of Cygnus on Wednesday, they are going to be conducting onboard training to prepare for the robotic operations. In addition to that, on Tuesday, the day prior to the capture and berthing of the vehicle, they'll be preparing the Node 1 Nadir hatch of the Unity module to be able to berth this capsule. So, for Zena and Johnny, they'll be busy with those operations, but then the rest of the crew will be conducting critical science. We've got ongoing time-critical science, human research, biological science occurring, and so the crew will remain busy. The crew also has to maintain their health with exercise and other things, and keep our systems up to operations, and so there's routine maintenance activities as well. So, and then in prep for 11,000 pounds of cargo arriving, we have to conduct the operations with a certain choreography. And so the crew will be also looking at the choreography in advance so that they have understanding of how we're going to stage the cargo and how we're going to, dispose of it, of the trash that we need to remove from station.
Thank you very much. We are certainly looking forward to Cygnus's arrival on Wednesday. We really appreciate you taking some time to join us today. Thank you again.
Thank you.
And with that, we will wrap up our launch coverage of Northrop Grumman's 23rd Commercial Resupply Services mission. Cygnus now on course to be captured at about 5:35 a.m. Central or 6:35 a.m. Eastern on Wednesday morning. Live coverage of rendezvous and capture will begin at 4 a.m. Central or 5 a.m. Eastern, followed by coverage of Cygnus's installation to the space station at 7 a.m. Central or 8 a.m. Eastern. In the meantime, you can learn even more about this mission on the web at nasa.gov/commercial resupply. Thanks so much for joining us today. We'll see you back here Wednesday morning. But for now, this is Mission Control Houston.